What is going on, guys? Welcome to part 2 of the best deer feed series. In the first part of this series, we tested 2 different products. The first one being Purina Antler Advantage and the second one being Big & J BB Squared. Out of those 2, we had a pretty definitive winner. The Purina Antler Advantage, the deer just appeared to sit there and eat that a little bit more, actually quite a bit more. They would nibble at the Big & J, but not really sit and eat it like they did the Purina. So if you haven't seen that video, I'm going to link it above here. Go check it out, see the first video. This is going to be part 2. In this video, we are going to test corn and sweet feed. Now this should be a pretty interesting test because the sweet feed is definitely a little more nutritional for them. It's higher in protein, higher in fat. The corn, on the other hand, deer just love corn. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen. I do believe that the corn is going to end up winning this just because deer love to eat corn. It's not necessarily that it's the better product to feed, but all in all, I think deer are just going to hammer this pile of corn. From past experiences, it's hard to keep a pile of corn out. So we're going to throw these 2 out, and I'm going to post the nutrition labels up here so you can check it out. Everything that I can gather from corn, it is going to be around an 8.5% digestible protein for deer. So it's not super great when it comes to actually, nutrition value, but if you're looking to attract deer and start pulling them onto your property, it's hard to go wrong with corn. But we're gonna see. We'll get these 2 feeds out, set the game camera on video, and we will check it here in a day or 2. Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we have the 2 bags here. We have the sweet feed and the corn. Like I said, the sweet feed is 12% crude protein, and the corn is going to be around 8.5–9% from what I found as digestible protein for deer. So we're going to get these out. These are the bags. I got both of them at Tractor Supply. As far as price goes, the sweet feed I believe was around $11.99, and the corn I typically try to buy from local farmers. You usually get a better deal on it, plus you're supporting your local farmer. But I think the corn, this bag of corn was around $8, somewhere around there. So we'll get these out, and the next video is going to be game camera footage. We'll be checking the cameras, so stay tuned. Interested to see how this is going to turn out. All right, guys, so we are going to get into the moment we've all been waiting for here, and we're going to go through this footage. So start it up here, and the first couple videos here are actually just these 2 little ones. They're yearlings. And they do kind of sniff around that sweet feed in the beginning, but as you'll see, they eventually just start hitting that corn pile and really don't leave. So I'm going to skip through these pretty quick because it's a lot of the same. They sit here and chow down for quite a while. Unfortunately, these 3 deer more or less eat this whole pile within a couple hours. It is interesting to see that doe kind of get a little territorial over that corn pile, though. I don't think we saw a whole lot of that with the other 2, which I don't know if that really is an indicator of them liking it more or being a little more protective over that food, but something to note. So we'll go to the next one here. You'll see that these same deer just sit here and chow down on that pile of corn. Once they hit that corn, they really don't go over to the sweet feed at all. Keep going. It's a lot of the same here, so I'm not going to bore you guys with the same videos. Still eating it. As you can see, that corn pile is already starting to get pretty low. That doe does kind of sit here and eat at that sweet feed a little bit, though, which is kind of interesting. But I believe she does go right back to the corn. Back to the corn. So the corn pile is already getting pretty low. It does not take them long to eat that down. And I must say, I'm not super surprised about that. I had a feeling that corn was probably going to be the winner of this one, just because I know how much deer love corn. So I'm going to keep cruising through these. Still the same deer. At some point, some turkeys do show up here. Actually, quite a few turkeys. 2 nice gobblers right there. And I think there's actually 2 hens with them. But later in the videos here, you'll see there's actually 6 jakes that come out from the back. And obviously they're picking at the corn too. So back to the corn, you can see that sweet feed pile really hasn't moved a whole lot. Still down there when I pulled the card, so I had a feeling that the corn was going to be it. Those deer are actually looking at those jakes coming through the woods there. And they filter on out. And the gobblers come back and kind of chase them around. So these turkeys kind of keep the deer away from the piles a little bit. I'm going to cruise through these pretty quick here. Deer are back at it. Once again, just seems that they prefer the corn, but they are nibbling at that sweet feed a little bit here and there. So the corn pile's gone though, for the most part. I mean, there's not a whole lot left. So once again, I think, you know, if you have a couple different choices for them out there, they're going to pick what they prefer the most. But if you were to just put one of these out, they're going to eat it regardless. Deer kind of, they're going to take advantage of whatever you have out. And in this case, they have a choice, and they're going to pick what they like the most. But you'll see here, there's quite a few more deer filtering in. And at this point, they are starting to hit that sweet feed a little bit, but there's really not much corn left. So all in all, I would say that, you know, once again, the corn is the preferred food out of this test, but they are eating that sweet feed too. So I think the corn is declared the winner out of this just because it was the first pile wiped out. Those first couple deer that were there ate it to the ground and really didn't look back. Turkeys are back. And I think when you get a lot of, you know, when you get a lot of deer around one pile, they're naturally going to go to the other food source if it's there. You know, they're just not going to bunch up, and, you know, obviously they're beating each other up a little bit. There's actually hair laying on the ground down there, and I didn't know what it was from. I kind of figured they were swatting at each other, but that's exactly what it was. So that's really it, guys. That is the footage from this one. These 2 toms are nice. Unfortunately, I won't be hunting over this spot. Got a couple different spots we're going to hunt this year for turkey. So that is it. We will go to that is it. I'll give you my final thoughts, and we will get into the next video here in the next couple days. Stay tuned. All right, guys, after going through this game camera footage, I think it's pretty easy to declare corn the winner out of this one. Not a huge surprise. Deer absolutely love corn. They always will. But it was kind of interesting to see if they would hit that sweet feed over the corn, which they were in it, but not nearly like they were in that corn. As soon as they hit the corn pile, they just kind of stayed there, and pretty much until it was wiped out. So corn definitely wins this one. The next video is going to be corn against the previous winner, which was the Purina Antler Advantage. So I'm going to put those 2 out. We'll get the game camera set up. We'll do the same thing that we did with this one. We'll go over the video. And at that point, we will see what deer really prefer to eat out of, you know, these 4 products. With that being said, even though corn is, you know, a great attractant for deer and they love eating it, there's not a lot of nutritional value in corn. So really, I guess this test is going to probably determine what would be great to mix with something that's a little more expensive. And at this point, that's why I kind of went with sweet feed and corn. They're on the lower, cheaper end of things. You know, you're around 10 bucks a bag. Corn's even cheaper than that. And then you have your more expensive Purina Antler Advantage, which comes in at $14.99 a bag. And the Big and J, which is 20 bucks a bag. I mean, that stuff's pretty much $1 a pound. So I think what we're going to find is that, you know, it may be a good idea to mix the Purina Antler Advantage and corn. You're still giving them some really good nutrition with the Purina, but you're using that corn as a filler. So hopefully we get a little clarity out of this last video. I still think corn's going to come out the winner out of all of this, but we'll see. I don't know for sure. So stay tuned. That video should be up here within the next couple days. and we'll see what happens. Thanks guys, appreciate it.